1964 was the year Civil Rights Act passed due to the influence of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The Civil Rights Act ended racial segregation and discrimination against African Americans and secured legal recognition as well as federal protection of citizens' rights. This eliminated racial segregation, in public schools, protection for demonstrators against police brutality, a major public works program to provide jobs, and the passage of the law prohibiting racial discrimination in public and private hiring. 1965, Dr. King mounted a voter registration drive in Selma, Alabama, to draw national attention to African American voting rights. During that same year, the Voting Rights Act was amended and passed to protect rights of minority voters and eliminate voting barriers such as literacy tests and poll taxes. The Voting Rights Act also authorized the U.S. Attorney General to investigate the use of poll taxes in the state and local elections. The two acts has made a major impact on my life and lifestyle. My parents were given a chance to work such magnificent jobs, own a home, and be respected as middle-class working citizens. This led me to getting proper education and living a middle-class lifestyle, as well as furthering my career in education. Although I wasn't born into the generation of civil rights movement, I embody what Dr. King stood and fought for. Without his courage, my grandfather, Dr. William E. Davis, would not have made it to be the first Black officer in the South Pacific Fleet of the United States Navy, and the first Black family practice physician of Talladega County in Talladega, Alabama. Or my grandmother, Theodora Davis, to be the first Black news anchor, reporter in East Texas during the late 60s. My grandparents lived and experienced segregation, yet they weren't defeated. They believed in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., led and declared. Knowing the hard work of my grandparents and those before me gave me a new perspective on life, how to stand in humility without giving up. My generation and I have a part in civic life, politics, and vocalize what we believe without being discredited. I have the right to be employed without immediately being looked upon as an African American woman. You see, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. painted the way for minorities to have access to what we were prohibited to experience. His nonviolent protests, boycotts, marches, and famous speeches were worth the hard work of long journeys, travel. The movement gave hope that carried over into many African American and other minorities walk throughout life. Reading and hearing the words of Dr. King brings hope and fuels a fire for change. For there is still work to be done. For many are still being discriminated against, and others being prevented from working due to not having proper identification. Let's carry the peaceful and nonviolent change over to society today. Let's stand, believe, and fight for what's right. Thank you.